Hello, everyone. My name is George Kachaamy. I'm the Director of Center for Research, Innovation, and Design and the Professor of Architecture at the American University in Dubai. I'm also the Certified VR Sketch Trainer, Gravity Sketch Certified Trainer, and Victory XR Certified VR Educator.
Hello everyone, I'm Abdullah Shakir. I am a master's in urban design and digital environment student at the American University in Dubai, and I am delighted to be present here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ayel Bayoumi. I'm also a master's student at the American University in Dubai, studying urban design and digital environment. I'm also an architect in Dubai, working at Noro Group Consultants, and I'm very delighted to present our project here today.
So today we're going to present SKYSCAPES Virtual Airborne Cities of UDDE 607. Before I start, I would like to clarify that some of the materials used in this presentation falls under a fair use of others' work to illustrate a specific point for research, scholarship, and educational purposes. Also, some of the following slides showcase ongoing research that has been presented in many forums, offline and online seminars. The presentation is organized in three main parts. The first one deals with the impact of current and upcoming technologies on shaping our plausible future environments. The second part is highlighting on the importance and power of immersive experiences. And the last part talks about the case of UDDE 607 that relates to the urban level design scale using these technologies. I would like to begin with an evocative mirage-like image inspired by Richard Morgan's novel Altered Carbon. This vision depicts a futuristic environment where three-dimensional digital assets seamlessly overlay the physical world. What makes this concept particularly compelling is its potential to redefine our perception of reality. While such advancement demand extensive infrastructure and a robust network, the encouraging news is that this vision is no longer confined to the realms of science fiction. It is rapidly becoming a tangible possibility. Experts are discussing this paradigm shift, forecasting a future where the digital and physical world will merge through mixed reality technologies. Dr. Louis Rosenberg, who is a leading authority in the field, anticipates this transformation, stating that by 2032, lightweight, stylish, and powerful mixed reality eyewear will replace the mobile phone as the primary interface to our digital lives. As educators, it is imperative that we proactively prepare and empower future generations to adapt to these emerging realities. By doing so, we ensure that they are not only equipped to navigate these changes, but also poised to thrive in an increasingly interconnected world. One has to admit that imagination, as subtle as it is, when empowered by the right tools, it can mold the physicality of the future, where a physical-like existence, where a digital-like existence can occur. Technology is a moving target, and with every advancement, there is an impact on society and, of course, on our environment. The three scenarios portrayed here are not the only ones and can be stepping stones to even different environments. Here, the focus on three main, very powerful tools: AI, AR, and MR, and also VR. To provide better context, the virtuality continuum framework, as adapted by Milgram and Kishino, illustrates the full spectrum of possible combinations of real and virtual world. Within this continuum, the area where these two extremes intersect is known as mixed reality. By extending this framework, we can foresee a trajectory that aligns with the vision articulated by Dr. Louis Rosenberg and Alvin Wang Graylin in their work of the book titled Our Next Reality. Whether it is mixed reality, the AI-powered metaverse, or spatial computing, all these concepts converge toward a shared vision: a richly layered virtual existence seamlessly integrated with the physical world. In this envisioned reality, the distinction between simulations and tangible experiences may become imperceptible and lead to what would be known as hyperreality. This paradigm shift remains dependent on the continued advancement of XR technologies, and the US Government Accountability Office has clearly articulated this progression through its continuum of extended reality, highlighting the pivotal role these technologies play in enabling this future convergence. With that in mind, all the tech giants with their competitive wars are pushing the envelope and playing a crucial role for the progress of these virtual realms and their technological tools. Each are promoting their software with their hardware. What is represented here are but few examples of the vast experimentations and investment that are being done towards this next environment. History has shown us that ideas once confined to the pages of books often inspire and are visualized in movies, eventually influencing and becoming part of our lived experience. And this is no exception to that. Nothing beats a technology that can allow us to have an immersive experience. And when we say immersive, some words and worlds come to our minds: engaging, interactive, surrounded, imaginative, and virtually real. I'm not going to give a history lesson, but it is important to acknowledge the evolution of these technologies and to know that what we see now goes back decades ago. This technology has come a long way, and this is due to the ongoing and continued research that's being done as we speak. And fast forward 70 years later, examples of virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, compatible applications, and different virtual platforms are evolving to include immersive experiences with advancement in immersive hardware technologies. No matter the scale, from product design to architecture and most recently urban scale environments, the focus has been on rethinking how we teach and design in an immersive way to help students become more creative using these technologies. Specifically in design, we always start to imagine spaces or objects in the mind first, then use 2D flat papers to communicate drawings and then 3D representations. At a later stage, CAD and BIM replaced these tools, and the flat paper was replaced by yet another flat screen. With all the advantages that computers and their screens have offered to designers and educators, immersive is by far one of the best tools that current XR technology has evolved. Such powerful tool is affecting the design process and education. Of course, in order to be able to have this capacity, there must be proper physical gateway that can host both the hardware and software. Kind of like the portal to all of this. At the Center for Research, Innovation and Design at the School of Architecture, Art and Design, the American University in Dubai, we have installed state-of-the-art workstations that are compatible with emerging technologies. This has facilitated the creation of immersive education possibilities and experimentations. One of the courses that benefited from this setting was UDDE 607, that is part of the Master of Urban Design and Digital Environments MODI program at AUD. This course that has been delivered in spring 2025 was fully immersive and taught students how to design on an urban scale in an immersive way inside virtual reality. The design brief of this course, titled Sky Island, aimed at designing the future virtual airborne city that took into consideration the lack of gravity inside virtual environment. The design process and methodology utilized multiple emerging technologies to fulfill the outcome of the brief, from multiple generative AI tools to VR applications and real-time visualization software. It is important to highlight that in all these stages of design, from ideation to creation, execution, and finally to the end product. These tools have become part of the design process as co-creation agents and not only as ways to experience the final design outcome. The upcoming video will showcase snippets of the design process and outcome, and later each student would elaborate on their design process and outcome.
Thank you, Professor George. Hello again. I will be presenting my airborne city, the Sky Island of Icarus. Now, Icarus is composed entirely of modular white cubes of varying shapes and sizes, each tailored to serve a unique function, whether it be residential, workspaces, public spaces, or green zones. Embedded in the clouds, the entire structure mimics an irregular, pixelated sphere shape. Now, what allowed this visionary flying city to materialize as a viable concept is the integration of advanced technologies like AI and VR, which revolutionized both the design process and experiential understanding of the complex structure. On the right here are a few AI-generated images that were the inspiration behind the city. And meanwhile, in VR, which enabled us to fully immerse ourselves in the city and its spaces, building and exploring its floating plazas, navigating sky bridges, and experiencing the green biosphere at a real-world scale. Now, the biosphere is shown here on the bottom right, which I'll be talking about shortly. The entire city forms interconnected clusters, all connected by a network of sky bridges that act as a public promenade and connective tissue between districts, fostering movement and interaction. And you can see a lot of them here in the first render on the right. a lot of plazas and connecting bridges to all the clusters. Central to the city is a decentralized green anti-gravitational biosphere, a dense floating jungle-like core that is teeming with plant life, clean oxygen, and natural biodiversity. This biosphere not only regulates air quality, but also acts as the ecological heart of the city. Smaller vegetation-bearing cubes float outward from it as well, acting as both aesthetic elements and practical food sources for the people. And they're also shown in the render here on the bottom right, a few of them, and they will be shown in the renders over here. You see a lot of those floating vegetational cubes, and you'll see vegetation spread across the whole city as well. And they're also clear here in the master plan. You'll see a lot of green spaces, a lot of open plazas and bridges. Now, for flexible mobility, inhabitants commute via hover cars, personal hover bikes, and rideable drones, all connected seamlessly through four main transportation hubs embedded within the city's core clusters. And they are here clear in the second diagram as shown. These transportation hubs are also connected throughout the city by hover platforms that travel vertically and horizontally, and that is also shown here in the bottom left. These are the vertical and horizontal connections between these central terminals. For flexible mobility within the cubes themselves. The cubes themselves have anti-gravitational lifts that allow you to move between the spaces. And dotted throughout the entire city are expansive public spaces, plazas, leisure terraces, and communal areas that allow inhabitants to gather, to socialize, and thrive in a urban ecosystem such as Aetheris. To conclude, this immersive design workflow and experience blurred the line between imagination and practicality, allowing for iterative testing, connection within the spaces, and a deep comprehension of human scale interaction within a structure in a city that absolutely defies traditional architectural limits. Thank you.
Thank you. Here I would like to present my project, the city of Novora, the virtual airborne city. In an era of rapid urbanization and relentless innovation, the concept of airborne cities emerges not merely as a fantastical vision, but as a compelling necessity for the future of urban living. I imagined a new type of city floating in the sky where modern technology and smart design support a sustainable and a strong way of living. As we think how people live, airborne cities offer a bold way of living through its connection to its space, nature, and progress. The design methodology incorporates three steps to design this city as follows. Step 1, a literature review and a research study to understand the physicality and characteristics of the airborne city. And step 2, visualizing them through generative AI, and followed by step 3, a VR sketch model to build the virtual city. Going in deep with AI visualization, a series of AI-generated visual iterations were developed to explore and refine design elements, allowing for the careful selection of components that best served the envisioned function and roles within the city. These selected elements were then synthesized into distinctive modular units, each integrating into the city's fabric to fulfill specific spatial, functional, and experiential proposal. Next, I translated the selected elements into 3D model using VR Sketch for immersive spatial development. As you can see, the master plan and the isometric view and the other visual illustrates the city is composed of various modular elements such as vertical tubes that function as a core housing essential services and administrative facilities, and concentric rings that act as dynamic neighborhoods, and a network of vertical and horizontal capsule tubes that ensures seamless mobility access to the core. Additionally, discrete modular pods are designed to attach and detach mid-air via docking ports, allowing from program spaces allocated. This modular arrangement envisions a city that is both flexible and adaptable, capable of responding to rapid shift and urban densities and evolving users' needs. Looking ahead, this modular urban city offers promising possibilities for future urbanization, ranging from disaster-resilient habitats and climate-adaptive infrastructure to decentralized living environments that support sustainability, mobility freedom, and advanced digital integration on global scale. And thank you for this opportunity, and thank you once again.
Finally, students who spent 50 hours, more than 50 hours, designing inside immersive environment were provided with industry stamp certification in order to equip them with the tools and recognition to thrive in a rapidly evolving professional landscape. Thank you for listening.